Watching the Highlight Zone with WANE 15 Sports Director Glenn Marini. Local sports coverage you can count on.
It's the Highlight Zone. Yeah, the Highlight Zone. It's the Highlight Zone. Yeah, the Highlight Zone. It's Friday night. We on the Highlight Zone.
We're not shy to a big game. We've had many big games, so we just know what to expect.
It wasn't pretty at some times, but we just got to keep moving.
As far as defensively, we just got to go out there and do our jobs.
Other than that, we'll just keep on perfecting our craft because Eastbrook's going to be a good team.
I have so much respect for them, and I know they respect us too, and that just makes it a great game, a great atmosphere, and I'm really excited to play in it.
It's the Highlight Zone. Yeah, the Highlight Zone. It's the Highlight Zone. Yeah, the Highlight Zone.
You can call them a sensational six because heading into tonight, a total of 6 local teams alive and kicking in the regional round. You win tonight, you play for a semi-state title next Friday for the right to fight at Lucas Oil Stadium. In 2A, a pair of undefeated teams going toe-to-toe in Monroe as Josh Ayan joins us now with your Highlight Zone Game of the Week. Josh.
All right, Glenn, well, coming into Friday's game at the landing strip, the Jets, they are flying high yet again. Adams Central riding a 25-game winning streak heading into regionals, but the team standing in the way of win number 26 and a 5th straight regional title happens to be an Eastbrook team coming in 12-0 on the season. So, Eastbrook at Adams Central, your Highlight Zone Game of the Week. Undefeated Adams Central ranked number 1 in the 2A state poll. Unbeaten Eastbrook is ranked 5th. Now, it just so happens these two teams scrimmage each other during the summer, so they aren't complete strangers. And you know what? Eastbrook having all the answers in the early going. That is Bodie Howell punching it across the goal line as Eastbrook actually taking a 14-0 lead. Adams Central fans, a lot of long faces as they trail 14-7 heading into halftime. But Jamison Roach capping off 21 unanswered points by the Jets. A lot more in business now as the Jets lead 21-14. But hey, third quarter, Ryder Gibson punching it across the goal line as Eastbrook answering back. A failed PAT, though, giving Adams Central just a 1-point lead, 21-20. Now let's go to the fourth quarter. It is Roach with an absolute rainbow ball. 32 yards to Braylon Reber for the touchdown, and Adams Central extending their lead 28-20. Next series for Eastbrook, though. Howell trying to take matters into his own hands, ripping off tackles left and right for a 20-yard touchdown. A 2-point conversion, tying this game at 28 apiece with just over 6.5 minutes left. So you know what, for Adams Central, regional title on the line, season on the line, it's time to go with Miller time. Vance Miller, a big day for him. 63-yard touchdown right here as he finishes with over 190 rushing yards, and Adams Central would not look back as the Jets go on to win 42-28 for their 5th straight regional title.
This shows that we have a lot of resilience. I mean, we were down, but we kept fighting, never let the deficit get in our heads, and we just went out there and dominated.
First half, we just weren't clicking. We were off. Went into the locker room, got a pretty stern talking to from coach to get us going, get us fired up, and we kept our heads, and we just played a great second half.
And that's a very good football team, hard-nosed football team, well coached. We got so much respect for them, and I'm so proud of how our kids responded and made plays when we needed to, both offensively and defensively.
Eastbrook ending their season with a 12-1 record. Adams Central, meanwhile, will head to Andrean for a 2A semi-state title. Glenn, take it away.
How about another team from Adams County with a shot to bring home a regional crown? In 1A, it's South Adams at North Miami. Starfires had scored 40-plus points in 6 straight games coming in. They would not in this one. In fact, North Miami was up 8-0 in the first when Titus Lehman hits Wesley Somerset. And South Adams in business. Somerset would punch it in later on the drive, but North Miami leading 8-7. Let's go to the second quarter. North Miami, it's a good team. They hung 51 on Fremont recently. How about Ryan Meredith into the end zone for the touchdown, and the Warriors would take a 14-7 lead. Here comes South Adams, though. It's Derek McCain making the touchdown grab, and South Adams does go on the road to win 25-22 over North Miami. South Adams will host Pioneer next week at Semi-State. In 4A, Bishop Dwenger on the road, the Saints in Lebanon to face the Tigers. First quarter action, we've been talking about it all season. The Dwenger defense, they are pretty solid. It is Cooper Campbell, and Campbell is good. A 37-yard pick six in the first quarter, and Dwenger up 7-zip. Later in the first, Henry Jordan, the QB keeper, and he weaves his way into the end zone 2-point conversion good, 15-0 Dwenger in the first. In the second quarter, it's now 15-7 when Jordan would find Carter Zent, and Zent zips his way into the end zone for a 22-yard TD. It's 22-7, Dwenger on top. They were not done. It's Henry Jordan to his brother Max Jordan. It's a beautiful thing as Dwenger led 29-7 at half, and the Saints go on to win 39-27. The Saints marching on. They'll host South Bend St. Joseph at Semi-State next week. In 3A, Bishop Luers on the road again this week. The Knights at Twin Lakes. Twin Lakes averaging almost 38 points a game. They do it with defense here. No score in the second quarter. Luers picked off Cole Ottinger with a 54-yard pick six, and Twin Lakes up 7-0, but that would be all the scoring Twin Lakes would have in this game. In the third, Tommy Reichert finding Darian Carswell. He's down at roughly the 5-yard line, and then later on the drive, they punch it in. 5'9", 270-pound freshman Darius Holly with a touchdown, and it is 7-all as we head to the fourth. In the final frame, Brandon Gaither, the sophomore, had 160 rushing yards and that game-winning touchdown as Luers wins its fourth regional in a row, 14-7 your final. Luers to get the winner of the Angola-Knox game at Semi-State. So, who would that exactly be? The winner of this one, Angola at Knox. Knox led by Indiana's all-time leading rusher, Miles McLaughlin. First quarter, McLaughlin going off. This is a 52-yard touchdown run. It's his 68th rushing touchdown on the season. That ties a national record and knocks up 6-0. In the second quarter, he would break the national record for rushing touchdowns in a season. This is 69th. More importantly, it gives Knox a 14-7 lead. However, Hawk Hasselman, he's been the hero for the Angola Hornets this season. You're going to see Hasselman return this punt, and he houses this baby. Hasselman had a punt return for a touchdown, a rushing touchdown, and a receiving touchdown. But it wouldn't be enough in this one as Knox tops the Hornets of Angola 28-21, so Knox will be at Luers next week. In 6A, 12th ranked Carroll at number 7 Penn. If you remember, Carroll beat the Kingsmen 35-7 last time they played in 2022. First play of the game in this one, the pass is completed but bobbled, and it's intercepted by Penn. This would lead to a Kingsman field goal, so Penn up 3-0 early in the first. Here's Penn's offense. Landon Hall to Brayson Hurley, and Hurley had himself a heck of a game. This one goes 67 yards, and Penn is off to the races, up 9-0 in the first quarter. But Carroll responding with the heart of a champion. Gabe Freisinger to Jaden Van Pelt, 15-yard score, 2-point conversion good, and Penn leading just 9-8 after one. In the second quarter, that ground game really got going last week against Northrop. Asher Wagner punches one home, and Carroll would build a 21-9 lead. Now you're going to see Hall to Hurley again. This one goes for 63 yards. Penn led after the third quarter, but Carroll would score 20 unanswered points in the fourth quarter as the Chargers come back to win it on the road at Penn, 41-30. Carroll moving on to Semi-State. They will host Westfield next Friday night. Over in Ohio, Paulding in the Division 6 regional semifinals. The Paulding Panthers coming off their first ever playoff win. We picked this one up in the second quarter as they were taking on Carey, and that is Carey's Dash Puckett. What a great name for a running back. He gets the touchdown, 7-0 carry. Then it's Mace Puckett. He finds the end zone as well, and the Blue Devils of Carey sticking it to Paulding early. They're up 14-0. Paulding trying to make something happen. Here's a little defense for you. It's Jordan Mance with the PBU right there to keep it at 14-0, but you're going to see Boston Ritter come up with a touchdown right here, and Paulding's dream season comes to a close as Paulding falls 41-6. Well, hey, that's going to do it for a wild night of football, but coming up after the break, we got ourselves a heaping helping of hoops. That includes some conference play in the SAC as Swin Jackson, Kayla Williams-Thomas, and the Northrop Bruins back at it to face the Concordia Cadets. Plus, Norwell High School, yeah, you might remember they won the 3A state title last season. We're going to head down to the castle in Ossian as the Knights hosting Culver. We've also got Belmont at Woodland, Columbia City at Whitco, Eastside at Fremont, and more coming up next on the Highlight Zone.
We're the South Adams Starfires. Stay tuned for more Highlight Zone.
Jets, welcome back to the highlight zone.
Last year, it was Eric Thornton and the Lady Knights taking the crown as Norwell beating Greensburg at Gainbridge Fieldhouse for the 3A state title. First state title in any girls' sport in Norwell school history. Their reward for rewriting the record books, how about a bump up to 4A this coming postseason? Norwell coming in ranked 10th in the state this week. The Knights hosting Culver Academy. Picking up in the first quarter, it's Ashley Waldman cocking and firing from the wing there. She knocks down the three, and then Macy Solfrank would do the same. Pretty much the same spot here for the Norwell senior. She had 10 points, and Norwell jumps out to a 12-2 lead. You're going to see Lainey Lyles for Culver get the bucket right there. Nice bucket off the glass, but it was 14-6, and Eric Thornton's team taking care of business at Solfrank again as Norwell wins 50-21. Belmont girls won 21 games last season. Woodland coming off a 14-win this season. We picked this one up in the first. It's a little defense into offense. Marianne Blakey with the bucket. She had 14 on the game, and Belmont in business early. You're going to see more from the Braves. Andy Hyden's team, they can always shoot the basketball. Lainey French says wee-wee. She knocked down the triple. But, there wasn't a whole lot offensively going on for Woodland in the early going. In fact, this free throw from Emma McDaniel, that was the first first points in the first quarter for this Woodland team who had the clamps put on them by that Woodland defense. Anna Lee Kruckenberg had 17 as Belmont rolls 59-20. Columbia City with a county rivalry game at the Whitco Wildcats. The Wildcats won a 2A regional last season under Justin Jordan. That's Tora Holler. Holler, if you hear me, she nails the three. First basket of the game. And it's Reese Stonebreaker coming the other way, laying it in on the break as Whitco with a 1-point lead. Then it's Kyra Lowe's turn. Watch Lowe get almost into the paint, knocks that one down, and then watch this spin move from Lowe. It's a thing of beauty off glass there, but you'll see Anissa Tonkel come up with the bucket. This was a back and forth game. Columbia City over a good Whitco team, 51-48. At Northrop, Bruins standout Swin Jackson signing with IU Indy earlier this week. Concordia led by Purdue Fort Wayne commit Olivia Bollinger, and both would play well in this one. Bollinger with the bucket there. She had 14 to lead the Cadets, but here comes Kayla Williams-Thomas, and she signed with Walsh University earlier this week. She had 19 on the game. And later, you're going to see Jenna Akey with the pilfer and find Stacy Piotrowski for the pair. And oh baby, yeah, Concordia running and gunning here, but Swin Jackson, she had 19 as well as Concordia falls at Northrop 65-34. At Armstrong Arena in New Haven, hosting Blackhawk Christian, the Braves won 14 games last season. Picked this one up early in the first quarter. Janiyah Ware with the hoop and the harm, and the Bulldogs with an early 3-zip lead. Matter of fact, they would jump out to an 8-zip lead to start this game. Later, Desi Pope. Desi finding Jalen Pickett. A Pickett that can play basketball at Blackhawk Christian. Who'd have thunk it? 8-2 though. New Haven in the lead. Here comes Pope, and Desi knocks it down. Still a 5-point lead for New Haven. You're going to see a lot of Webb bury this one to beat the first quarter buzzer, but it's Blackhawk coming up with the win, 53-32. Eastside Blazers coming off a 27-2 season where they made it to semi-state last year. Mike Rorty and company, not too far of a drive to take on Fremont. First quarter, Taylor Mack with the return of the Mack. She had 19 in this game. That would lead the Eastside Blazers. Later, Grace Charlock would lay it in for two for Fremont. She would lead the Eagles with 19 points herself, but simply too much from Eastside, and Mack, pretty much the same spot we saw her nail one from before as Eastside wins a good one, 54-46. Final stop for girls hoops, West Noble hosting Northwood. Former Dwenger coach Steve Wittorowski in year one leading the Chargers. Pick it up in the second quarter, Northwood's Ivy Leaper with a three, and Northwood led 17-12. But in the third quarter, West Noble starts to get cooking. Addison Burns with a runner here, and it goes. We're now knotted at 17. Later in the third, Elise Mead would come up with the triple. This one back and forth all game, but it's Northwood winning 43-39 in overtime. Stick around. Your gem of the night is next.
We're the Paulding Panthers, and we're back with another highlight zone.
Here at Peter Franklin Jewelers, we are proud to support local high school athletics. That's why we continue to sponsor the Highlight Zone on WANE TV.
Congratulations to this week's winner of the Gem of the Night, presented by Peter Franklin Jewelers.
At this time of the year, all you want to do is win and advance. And if you want to advance, give the ball to Vance. Vance Miller from Adams Central. This ball game tied at 28 with 6 minutes to go, and Vance Miller breaking off a 63-yard touchdown. Vance Miller, yeah, he had 190 yards on the ground, including this. Makes that 28 all tie as Adams Central comes from behind to win against a solid, undefeated Eastbrook team. Vance Miller and the Jets with your Gem of the Night. Next up for them, how about a trip to Andrean? Finally on the ice, the Komets wrapping up their 11-game road swing with games at Kalamazoo and at Toledo this weekend. Friday they were in the zoo on that purple ice, and Brady Stonehouse with a power play goal in the first, his third goal of the season. I made it 1-zip Komets. Now in the second period, Bo Akey, former NHL draft pick, with his first goal as a Komet. That would make it 2-0. Later in the second period, you're going to see Matthew Brown with his fourth of the season. That makes it 3-1 case. 5 different Komets score in this one as the Komets go on the road to win by a final of 5-3. They'll play at Toledo tomorrow night and then be at home against the Bloomington Bison next Friday nights. So we're going to have a whole bunch of semi-state games next Friday. 5 local teams advancing. Adams Central going to Andrean. South Adams going to be hosting Pioneer. In 3A, we got Knox at Lures, and in 4A, it is Dwenger against South Bend St. Joseph. While Carroll is at home in 6A. They will take on Westfield. We'll have it covered for you next Friday night, but for now, I'm Glenn, and we'll see you then.